Well, it's primary day. If you are eligible to vote, don't forget to go out and vote. One of the lessons from this year's primary election, though, has nothing to do with Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, or any particular candidate. It's about whether government is making the best use of taxpayers' resources. New York now has 9 days of early voting. 9 days. 9 days of early voting. The idea behind it was very straightforward: make voting more convenient and increase participation. That's a worthy goal, which I support. But every government program should occasionally be measured against its results. According to reports, only about 172,000 people voted during the entire 9 day early voting period. That's in the entire city of New York, not just on Staten Island. That's roughly 4% of registered voters citywide. Now, I'm not criticizing the Board of Elections at all. They are following the law and doing the job they've been assigned. The Board of Elections doesn't decide how many days of early voting we have, state lawmakers do. What I'm suggesting is that these numbers raise a legitimate question. Do we really need 9 full days? I vote no. Many early voting sites, especially in my district, are located in public schools. When schools are used as polling locations, students often lose access to gymnasiums, auditoriums, cafeterias, and other spaces. I've toured every school in my district multiple times. And some of the principals, as they're taking me around their schools, show me the damage that these voting machines have done to their gymnasium floor, which ultimately need to be replaced. School schedules are disrupted. Staff have to adjust. Families have to adapt. All of that might be justified if there's overwhelming public demand for 9 days of early voting. But is there? If we had 4 days of early voting instead of 9, would turnout actually be lower? Would people who voted on day 2 simply vote on day 3? Would people who voted on day 5 simply vote on day 4? I don't know the answer, but I think it's a question worth asking. Good government means constantly evaluating whether we're getting value for the resources we're dedicating. It means looking at evidence instead of assumptions. Nobody is suggesting eliminating early voting. Early voting has become part of our electoral system, and many voters appreciate the added flexibility. I vote early. But there's a big difference between having early voting and having 9 consecutive days of early voting. If 4 days accomplishes the same goal as 9 days, why not reduce the burden on schools? Why not reduce costs and simplify administration? Government should be accessible, but it should also be efficient. Too often in New York, we assume that more is automatically better. More days, more programs, more bureaucracy. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it isn't. This year's primary should prompt an honest, nonpartisan discussion about whether 9 days of early voting is actually producing results that justify the disruption and expense. I don't think that's a partisan question. I think it's a common sense question. I mean, think about it. If a restaurant stayed open 24 hours a day, but only a handful of customers came in at 3 a.m., eventually the owner would ask whether those hours make sense. Government should be willing to ask the same question. Let me know what you think. Comment as you see fit. Share if you dare.